Okay, I am at chapter 4. Real world is beyond the mind. On several occasions, the question was raised as to whether the universe is subject to the law of causation, or does it exist and function outside the law? You seem to hold the view that it is uncaused, that everything, however small, is uncaused, arising and disappearing for no known reason whatsoever. Maharaj, causation means succession in time of events in space, the space being physical or mental. Time, space, causation are mental categories arising and subsiding with the mind. Question. As long as the mind operates, causation is a valid law. Maharaj, like everything mental, the so-called law of causation contradicts itself. No thing in existence has a particular cause. The entire universe contributes to the existence of even the smallest thing. Nothing could be as it is without the universe being what it is. When the source and ground of everything is the only cause of everything, to speak of causality as a universal law is wrong. The universe is not bound by its content because its potentialities are infinite. Besides, it is a manifestation or expression of a principle fundamentally and totally free. Questioner. Yes, one can see that ultimately to speak of one thing being the only cause of another thing is altogether wrong. Yet in actual life, we invariably initiate action with a view to a result. Maharaj, yes, there is a lot of such activity going on because of ignorance. Would people know that nothing can happen unless the entire universe makes it happen? They would achieve much more with much less expenditure of energy. I like that. I'm going to read that part again. Would people know that nothing can happen unless the entire universe makes it happen? They would achieve much more with much less expenditure of energy. If everything is an expression of the totality of causes, how can we talk of a purposeful action towards achievement? The very urge to achieve is also an expression of the total universe. It merely shows that the energy potential has risen at a particular point. It is the illusion of time that makes you talk of causality. When the past and the future are seen in a timeless now as parts of a common pattern, the idea of cause-effect loses its validity and creative freedom takes its place. Yet, I cannot see how anything can come to be without a cause. When I say a thing is without a cause, I mean it cannot be without a particular cause. Your own mother was not needed to give you birth. You could not have been born from some other woman. You could have been born from some other woman, but you could not have been born without the sun and the earth. Even these could not have caused your birth without the most important factor, your own desire to be born. It is desire that gives birth, that gives name and form. The desirable is imagined and wanted and manifests itself as something tangible or conceivable. Thus is created in the world in which we live, our personal world. The real world is beyond the mind's ken. We can see it through the net of our desires divided into pleasure and pain, right and wrong, inner and outer. To see the universe as it is, you must step beyond the net. It is not hard to do so, for the net is full of holes. What do you mean by holes? How do you find them? Look at the net and its many contradictions. You do and undo at every step. You want peace, love, happiness, and work hard to create pain, hatred, and war. You want longevity and overeat. You want friendship and exploit. See your net as made of such contradictions and remove them. Your very seeing them will make them go. Since my seeing the contradiction makes it go, is there no causal link between my seeing and its going? Causality, even as a concept, does not apply to chaos. To what extent is desire a causal factor? One of many. For everything, there are innumerable causal factors, but the source of all that is, it is infinite possibility, the supreme reality, which is in you and which throws its power and light and love on every experience. But this source is not a cause, and no cause is a source. Because of that, I say everything is uncaused. You may try to trace how a thing happens, but you cannot find out why a thing is as it is. A thing is as it is because the universe is as it is. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, I like his stuff.
Beautiful. Beautiful words. Beautiful words. Yeah.
He was getting into a lot of is as it is talk. Kind of reminded me of you. I think you said something similar.
Yeah. It's, even the reading of the book that seemed to be happening. There wasn't anyone who was reading the book. It was just the whole universe. It's just everything reading the book. So every movement, even including the blinking of the eyes, smiling, waiting, looking, it's the whole universe doing it. There isn't any separate person who's doing it. So even if it seems as if there is a real separate person who's doing it, it's still the whole universe doing it. Somebody, if it seems as if there's somebody who's doing it, that's not an evidence that there's a real somebody who's doing it. It's still the whole universe. It's still everything doing it. Even if that imaginary one claims that, no, it's me. You can see I'm doing it. That's the whole universe saying that. So there's no escape. There's just this. There is no escape. The desire itself, when it seems as if there's a desire coming up to do a certain thing, that's that's wholeness, having that desire. Even with the desire itself, it's still everything. It's not somebody's desire, it's just the whole universe doing it. So there's no dividing line. There's no separation at all. Even the scratching of an ear, that's the whole universe. That's everything doing it. So it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I was thinking
So
about being young. And my dad would, I'd walk with my dad. And at some point in my life, I noticed shadows, when I was very young, like 3 or something. And, there's street lights. You have street lights around Durban, that
yes,
illuminate the street.
yes.
So when you're walking through the street, there's a shadow that will just go from, right underneath you to being very, very, very long. As the street, and then you walk into another one, and there's, and I would just watch these shadows just And for some reason, I remember asking my dad, what shadows were, explain the whole thing to me. I said, they're not real. Shadows aren't real. There's nothing there. Because I mean, it seemed so evocative to me, like a different creature, as I was watching this, because it's just this majestic. And just,
So there were many around you.
I think it was just my dad and I walking, but
Wow.
the pattern, because you walk past one street light into another, right? So there's a constant pattern of it getting longer and shorter as you go through the street, and then the next one shorter and longer. I mean, it's just this kind of beautiful kind of wave of shadow that happens kind of artificially, as you're walking across a street that has these kind of speckled street lights. So you might not have it in Durban because you probably don't have that many street lights. You only probably have one on each block or something, but for some reason we had, lots of them, like in a college campus area or something. So, yeah, so it was just like something that I'd been so interested in as a young child. My imagination all of a sudden just didn't exist. It's like, that's not it. And then trying to wrap my mind around. And I was just thinking of that today for some reason, and I was like, well, that's like this whole thing is like shadows. The whole thing is like the light, the illumination of the universe, and we are the shadows. The way that the light goes through the different patterns that arise in and out, it's just a shadow.
Yeah.
We're no more ourselves than I was the shadow, that I would see.
Yeah. Yeah. Even, your whole life is an imagination. It's an imagination. Somehow it may seem to play the imaginary game of itself. The imaginary game is that of being a certain somebody who's living life, who has a family, with beautiful kids, having a career. That's an imaginary game. So when I say it's imaginary, it's already not there. The separate one, the imaginary separate one, and imaginary things or imaginary problems, they are already not there. They seem to be there because they are imagined by no one. But when you start to look now, you cannot find them. You cannot find the story. You cannot find your life except as an imagination. Well, yeah, that's imagination. It's still wholeness. It's still everything appearing as an imagination. So your whole life is thought-based. It's not, it's unreal. It's unreal. And the whole life is appearing now. It has no past and it has no future. And that imagination as well is just appearing in this timelessness. Spacious. spaciousness.
Sorry, I'm trying to relax a little bit. I got up early this morning and had a lot of meetings today. Spent a lot
You
of time.
must be very tired.
Huh? Yes, I get
You must be
tired.
very tired.
This is a highlight of my week. I love this part of my week. But I do get tired.
Yeah.
So have you been editing more?
So
Have you been editing
yes,
more?
a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been editing a lot. And I did our videos, the video that you sent me, and so many people responded to it very well. Yeah,
You know how to get to the
they
folder,
like.
right? There's lots and lots of them up there.
Yeah, at first I had difficulties, but the time I was more like doing it, going there to different folders, I was able to download them.
Okay.
Now it's very easy. It's
Okay. Good.
very easy.
Good. Good.
Yeah. I've been uploading them on YouTube. And then I was also thinking of taking those older ones as well, make editing them as well, picking up those uh, clips which I was picking the good points apparently.
I've been going to the transcripts. You can actually go to YouTube and they convert the language into words that are text, you know, like you can read.
Wow, they can do that.
Yeah, it does it automatically. So if you go to a right place, if it's one that if it's a YouTube video that you've uploaded, there's a certain place that you can go to get just the script, the words. So I've been going to that
Oh,
and going through some of the gems. It doesn't say who's talking.
yeah.
So it's just like you and me, just blended words, right? And then sometimes we don't make sense on top of each other or don't complete sentences or whatever. But still, just like going through, there's just nuggets of just really neat things that are said. I've been finding some of that.
um,
So um,
Great.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I think I might write a book. I think I might turn
Yeah.
it into a book. Um, uh, I don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, you can. You can.
But I didn't mean like not like a, Nkosi Speaks kind of book, but just like rework the words
Yeah.
into some other form or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. I've been a day before yesterday. I've been talking to a lady. I think a lady from UK. Yeah, she has been listening to our session, and Alice, and she was very happy to talk to me the day before yesterday. Very happy, excited, and yeah, I think though those videos somehow they are touching so many people all over the world in a different way. in a different way.
Apparently.
Sorry?
Apparently.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mm. You know, when you talk to a person and she like ends up like full of tears, tears of joy, happy, so happy. Mm. That is just what's happening, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful because when this sees itself, it loves itself. And as I always say, it doesn't try to get rid of something that it's already not there. And when you talk of me, separate somebody, that's one doesn't exist, has never existed. So when somebody or when there's talking happening, this sees itself talking. So it loves itself unconditionally. It loves itself. It doesn't love a person. It doesn't love a separate somebody because that one doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. There is only this. There is nothing else apart from this. So when I say you, I don't mean literally a separate you. I mean the you as everything.
You
And
once said
some
to
may
me,
in yes.
so finish, sorry. Little
Okay.
interrupt.
This may appear as somebody who's misunderstanding, who thinks that, oh, Kosi, Wasim Supinkosi is talking to a certain person. But no, I don't see, this doesn't see it that way. It sees everything. So when I say you, I mean myself and everyone and everything. So, yeah.
You once said to me, there's no difference between you and Jesus. And
Yes.
that was like really eye-opening for me. Because I realized that not only was that true, but that was what Jesus was trying to say all along. Everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. There's no difference at all. There's no difference. Or the only difference can only be in the imagination, imaginary separation, which is also this everything appearing as that. So yeah. As he said, I and my father are one. I'm in the Father, you are in me, and I'm in you. So
Yeah,
that's one thing.
that's one thing.
Yeah. I remember uh, when Paul was still Saul in the Bible, he used to persecute the Christians. So there was one day when he was struck by lightning, and then a voice came out from the sky. I think it was Jesus. He said, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? The question is, why did he say that? Because Paul was persecuting the people who were following Christ. They were not. He was not persecuting Jesus himself. So he said, "Why are you persecuting me?" So many those people, Jesus sees himself as still as those people. You know, he doesn't separate himself. He's not. He doesn't see himself as a separate one. As a matter of fact, he sees himself as everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
I don't know. It's not a good example.
You need to grab the top of the computer and push it towards you a little bit because your
Oh
chin
yeah,
keeps on
nice.
falling off the bottom. There you go.
Yeah,
Going to be making YouTube videos of this. They have to be able to see.
yeah, yeah. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to have more interest in the Bible. The weird little nuggets in the Bible. How many weird little nuggets are there in the Bible? How are they hidden? You know, it's just so hard to understand a book that was written, 2,000 years ago in another language, 50 to 100 years after a guy lived, And,
Yeah.
how many edits and erases and, how many changes, but they're in there. I guess I'm not,
Yeah,
I guess I'm just interested because, like you grew up Christian. And it's not as if I really expect to learn anything, from the spiritual insights of the Bible compared to the spiritual insights of other things I read. But I find it interesting how far off we've taken it as a society,
yeah, yeah. So many things were taken out there. So many beautiful words, but there are still some that are left,
Yeah.
and they are misinterpreted. When a preacher reads certain scripture, he may read it, he may take a verse out of it context. Read a verse out of context.
I've always thought that one of the reasons that you're such a great orator, speaker, is that your dad was a preacher. I guess he was 7 when you died, or you were 7 or so, but you must have seen him. Must have been
Yeah, I
fairly
was 6.
6. That's pretty young.
Yeah,
You never remember
I was
seeing him?
6. Yeah, I remember seeing him preaching
Yeah.
inside the tent. Yeah, it was very like full of energy. He would preach until he jumps up and down.
My mom does that.
Wow.
Yeah, in the south
Beautiful.
of in the south of America, there's a lot of that kind of jumping up and down and crawling to the front of the church, and a lot of hugs and a lot of Sometimes people act like they've been struck by lightning, and they fall down.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's
Speaking
real,
in tongues.
speaking in tongues, but it's real, you know, it's real, it's really happening. You know, they really are,
Yeah.
even though they seem to get so much else wrong. That part of it
Yeah.
survives, you know, that real tangible electric love or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. Beautiful. It's beautiful to see everything that because when it's seen that and it's more beautiful. Mm. It's it's not judged. It's just what seems to be happening.
Yeah,
There's no judgment.
yeah.
Remember, my dad would lay hands on the sick people and they will be healed. I remember I was told that I once had a tumor, a big tumor on my neck. It was
That
so
big?
big.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Just
Oh my God.
my dad prayed, prayed over it, just laid hands until it's vanished. It took about 1 week and just simply vanished, just like that. That's what I was told. I don't remember. I don't.
That's funny. Maybe the tumor was never there. They were just instilling this amazing faith in Nkosi.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, faith can do amazing things.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it's yeah, it's very amazing, or I would say beautiful. Uh, the noticing that uh, there was never a separate you. It's it's another. It's a very I don't have words, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful because when there's talking happening, and that's imagination. That's all I'm talking. It's when the focus is on the imaginary self. That's all right. I'm the one doing this. But when it is really noticed, it's oh, there's just talking happening. There isn't anyone who's talking. It's a very big joke. And something starts to wonder. Oh, all these years. that I thought I existed. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I was never there. Even that thing that seems to be talking, it can never be found because there is nothing here. There's just everything. So I usually say heaven that people want to go to, apparently, is already here. It's because they imagine that there is some place somewhere that it is peaceful, loving. That's why it cannot be seen that heaven is already here. As Jesus used to say, the kingdom of God is within you. And seek the kingdom of God and everything shall be added. So if it's within you, so it is you. You are it. It's not apart from you. The thing that is looking for peace, joy, is already joyful, peaceful. You are what you are looking for already. Distance is imaginary. A journey is imaginary. There's no journey here. There's no distance. So what seems to be thinking happening, it's already late. This is here already. Before seeking arises, before wandering arises, this is already here. There's nothing. This is no journey. This is effortless. This is obvious. It's beyond even the word simple. It's just as it is. It's not waiting. It's not trying. It's not struggling. There's no movement. Someone trying to get it. It's an imagination appearing in it. It is you and you are it. So it doesn't really mind what seems to be others. doing. It doesn't mind because it doesn't see the other, it sees itself. There are no others apart from it. What seems to be others is just
you-
it already.
You have a few more minutes?
Yes, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
My heart area is glowing. Is your heart area glowing?
Yeah, it does sometimes.
Sometimes
That's
recently,
I
go ahead.
sorry.
No, you go first.
Okay, okay. I was just gonna say, but I'm uh, that sees which sees the hearts glowing and
Yes.
heart not glowing.
Lately, I've been
Sees
feeling,
happiness. Okay, okay, go ahead.
lately I've been feeling
Sorry.
hollow,
Yeah.
strange hollowness, like the inside of my body's actually just empty space. And the skin and the shape around the edge is there. I can sense it, but just having this very, very feeling of just light, almost like the inside of my body's made out of light. Not like a mental picture, but an actual like physical sensation, like everything is light. You know what I mean? You ever feel that? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I told you about that. There was this something happened that I was in a different. I think that was a different dimension, so to speak. Apparently, I was sitting on a chair. The body was sitting on a chair, and then when I suddenly realized that somewhere else that it appeared like that. And then the chair started to spin around. The chair I was sitting on, and I was spinning with the chair. The body was spinning. It spin around, spin around, spin around, spin around so fast that a ball of light, which I was, started to move up, up, and it penetrated the roof, and then it just shot away. I don't know how to explain. I was that ball of light, so shining all the way until it's reached the house that I'm living in, and then it's entered the roof, the top of the roof. I would see the body lying there. But as I entered the roof, the roof, through the roof, it was the place started to glow. You know, that's white, that's pure white, that pure light that is shines brightly, brighter than the sun, something like that. So the whole room started to glow as I was descending down slowly to the body, and then I entered the head. I could see, I could see everything. I think 360. Yeah. And I could also see with my eyes closed as I entered the body. And then the vision started to fade away slowly, slowly. And then I couldn't see without my eyes being open. Instead, I had to open my eyes in order for me to see. I don't know if I ever told you that.
You told me about there was a light that came down from your head to your heart, but you've never told me that story before. No.
Mm. Well, I thought I told you.
This was
So I'm just,
how long ago?
it was in the morning. Yeah, it was in the morning.
But what, how many years ago?
Um, 2017. Yeah, I think 2017.
2017, 5 years ago. Yeah.
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 So I was just confirming that I think the story you're telling me about. It's like
Your story seems a little more intense than my story. Maybe my story will happen. Maybe your story will happen. Well, I guess your story did happen to me. Because we're all one, right?
yeah, yes, yes.
Yeah, I want to go visit my birthplace where I had the out of body experience as an infant, as a small child. I want to go back there, but I don't know exactly the address. But it's not too far from here. It's like 20 miles from here. But I've never been back, so I just have to find the right time.
So no one is there.
It. I don't know who's there. You know, my mom and dad lived there 50 years ago, and they got divorced, and they know where it is, so they can tell me where it is. Um, but it's just a very old house. It was an old house then. It's like an antique house, a big antique house. I'd like to go see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. So ever since that out of the body experience, we never had any other out of the body experience after that one.
No. No.
Mm.
Stuck.
You know, you may find that it happens every night without you noticing.
Yeah,
It happens every night.
yeah. I have had lucid dreams. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, where you can take control of your dreams and do whatever, but that's a little different.
So you're able to take control of the dream.
It doesn't happen very often, but I have done it. Yeah. Yeah. When sleeping. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another way of having an out of the body experience. Because when you take control of your dreams, you remember that you are dreaming in the dream. Then you remember that you left the body in bed and you can do whatever. If there are dogs that are chasing you, when you realize that you are dreaming, then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Turn around and kiss the dogs.
Yeah. Or fly away.
Okay, Mr. Nkosi, I'll let you go to your auntie. Did you
Okay.
have you talked to Martha at all?
No, I
No,
haven't talked to him.
that's too bad.
I haven't
She's
talked
still
to
out
him.
there. I think she's still out there.
So the she's waiting for the
I think she's still waiting.
lawyers to clear up.
I think so, yeah. Yeah. They were gonna have her father's funeral in December, but they decided to move it back until she got back. So I don't know when they're gonna do it, but she's gonna yeah, so she's still there for a while.
Mm. Yeah, I will send her a message and maybe try to go in and visit her. You know, sometimes it comes up that whenever I think about like going to visit, something comes up that I should give a space. I don't know what's the yeah, but I will talk to her and send her a message and find out when she's free, and then I'll go visit her.
Well, you know, if it comes up that she needs space, then maybe that's what you should do.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Okay, I'm gonna go spend some little time with my family before I go to bed. Have a great day. I'll talk to you next week. And I'll
okay, wonderful.
the video.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
Thank you.
yeah.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah. Thanks.